What is good, y'all? Welcome to Let's Cap. I'm your host, Ronald Kabang, also known as Youcapper from Sportsmemo.com, at Youcapper Sports on Twitter. Got my guy Chris with me today, Chris B. Cappin on Twitter. Chris, we had a pretty decent show yesterday, in my opinion. I think we called out a lot of good stuff. Jay came in before you came in too, and we talked about Miami first quarter. We talked about some of the props after the show, like in our group chat too. We talked about Kevin Porter Jr. after Shingun was out, and we rocked that play. The triple double, the double double, not triple double, the double double, and also the ladder on some of those plays. I'm not sure if you took it, but I know a few of us did. How was your day overall yesterday?
Yeah, I see. It was a good day, man. The plays I talked about on the show was just the Jazz plus the points, and then fading the Kings, just their defense. I'm not a believer in the Kings defense. I wouldn't fade them against anybody at home, but I thought the Bucks would come in there and play defense off the loss against Golden State, and they did. So 2-0 day on plays that I shared. Always looking to add more. I see. You know how it go.
Yeah, yeah. The one thing that I had yesterday that I thought was gonna cash was the Bucks game under. They ended up scoring 80 points in that 80 plus points in that fourth quarter, but I think they'll if they were I think it was 69 points or 68 points. That was my target for it to stay under in the fourth quarter and ended up going 80 points. It's freaking ridiculous. But yeah, that one was that's one that I was kind of pissed off about. But another day, hopefully we cash some stuff today. I think we're aligned on some stuff. And then we also want to probably dive into some other things that we're kind of looking, I guess, leaning towards. We can go through right now actually and just go through those games here. First one up, let me bring up my screen here. First one up that is on the list is Pistons and Washington. This one was one of those ugly games, Chris, that we were talking. We were just talking about. Like, man, like sometimes you see an ugly game, you don't want to touch it. But shout out to I found out who gave me the query, who sent that query to me. It was Wookie Freeman on Twitter. He sent me this query not too long ago, and it wasn't exactly what he sent. Like I cleaned it up a little bit and then I sent it back to him and he was like, oh damn. Like he didn't think like how we talk about when we send these queries or we do these queries and you kind of limit yourself within a line. He did that. And I just basically took the line off and added, I think, one parameter to it. And it just became something that was a lot stronger. So one thing he sent this to me and it was dang it. Now I have it sent saved somewhere.
Home
Uh,
favorites laying 10 points or more
yeah,
after
the
the
10 points or
All-Star
more
break.
one.
First
Where
team
is it
with
now?
a
Oh, right here you go.
losing record.
Yep.
I think I remember that for the rest of my life. I see.
All right, so this is not what he sent me, but this is like a snapshot of what he sent. And this was pointing towards this says since 2020, after the All-Star break, double digit home favorites with a total less than 225, 75.4% ATS, and that says to back the Wizards here. Obviously it's an ugly play, right? And the initial thing that I saw was like it's the Wizards. Like I'm not gonna back the Wizards as double digit favorites in this position, right? So what I did was I was like, well, I mean, it's here. Might as well dive deep into it. So what I did was just look at it and say, what about if the team is less than or equal to 50% win percentage? And it goes to an undefeated record, 14 and 14, 14 and 0 straight up and against the spread. So, I mean, me and Chris looked at this earlier and we're like, damn, like that's kind of crazy. So, I ended up taking the first quarter and the first half. I think in a situation of they don't cover that first half, I'm probably just gonna take it live regardless. But I did take first quarter, first half. There's a huge margin in that first quarter there that I want to take advantage of. And for some reason, if the Pistons come back in the second half, I'm gonna go live and take that full game line or the second half line for that matter. But I think they cover both. Chris, anything on this one or other than what we just looked at here?
Nah, the only thing that just kind of popped in my mind I see is I think that Cray is what 8-5-1 to the under as well. We know
Yeah.
this is a back to back, so I think potentially looking towards maybe like if people wanted to action on like a total in this game, I do feel like there may be some some room for the under in general.
Yeah.
We see teams only averaging 95 points in this career, and this doesn't date back to like the
And look at
60s or the 80s.
why you just when you just said that, I noticed the DPA. It's 13-1 to the team total under for that opposing team. So that under part I think that you're mentioning here, 8-5-1 to the under full game. But if we focus in on the opponent, that might be the way to go too. I guess you want to pivot off of it, right? If that 13 is kind of scary, maybe that team total under, that Pistons team total under. I think you're going in that direction. I think that makes a lot of sense here.
Yeah, that's what I was going to add, RC. Or, I looked at the Wizards this year without Kuzma. It's nothing significant at all. They're 3-3 to the over/under, giving up about 115 points and giving up 118 points and scoring 115. But of course, this was against way more competent lineups. We know that the Detroit Pistons will pretty much be without everybody. I think Coach. The coach might have to play today, or the assistant coach or somebody, because they got everybody down today. So
yeah, you mentioned the Wizards without Kuzma, right? And we talked about it right before the show too. I was like, man, that's the part that's kind of keeping me off. But right before you hopped off and then came back on, I was looking at this. The Wizards without Kyle Kuzma. You mentioned right, the 3-5 was it, or 5-3? I forgot what it was. Sorry, 2-3-1 ATS. But I looked at it specifically when they're the home favorite or they're the favored. They still have that gap in that first quarter, first half. So I feel like that's still the way to go here. Obviously, it gets tighter on the full game, where the spread is at -13. Only a 2-game sample size, but I think it's just saying that this is a spot that they should be able to win, and hopefully by margin.
Yep, I would only be able to agree. I played the first quarter, first half with you as well. Appreciate you for sharing that career with me, because I was not looking at this game at all.
Sometimes the ugly ones are there, man. It's just...
Yeah, no, it's a fact. That's a fact. I see. Also, you just look at Detroit. You already on the screen, I see. But post All-Star break, Detroit has the worst offensive rating. They're dead last at 30th, only 97 offensive rating in the first quarter specifically.
I was just gonna get there. Yeah, first quarter.
So, yeah, and Washington should be somewhere middle of the pack. They're 21st, but they are coming off a game where they didn't put a lot of effort in at all on Sunday against the Philadelphia 76ers. So I'm pretty sure that influenced this rating as well.
I mean,
they should be able to
look at that net rating, -15.4 for Pistons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's been bad in the first quarter for them. So yeah, doesn't get any easier today.
This is not refreshed on. Oh, it looks like he didn't refresh it today. That's all right. I'll take that out. Yeah, that's the only way that I could go in that game, and it is an ugly play, but I'm gonna get there. I put my money on it. So
me too.
Yeah. All right. So next up, we got Cleveland and Charlotte here. I think didn't you touch this one, Chris? I didn't, but I think you had something on this one.
Yeah, I did. So this game's interesting. I see. So second of one of those little back-to-back series, of course. Sunday, these two teams played, and the Cavs I think they were laying 8 points as road favorites in that game, and I'm glad I stayed off because they didn't cover that spread. One of the big reasons I stayed off is because they didn't have Jared Allen. Now, but Mobley got in foul trouble early, so that didn't help either. So looking at the game today, you get the same exact teams in the same exact building, but not only would Jared Allen be missing, Donovan Mitchell will also be missing. So Cavs on the road as favorites, they typically don't play really well, especially when they're laying a lot of points. Now you're in the spot without Donovan Mitchell. I don't necessarily want to back Charlotte in this spot, RC, because they have their own list of injuries as well. But I did play the under. When Donovan Mitchell got ruled out, it was at 223.5. I jumped on the under because I know how much he means to the offense. And also, you just look at the advanced stats, both of these teams are number 1 and number 2 in defensive rating post All-Star break. Or at least I'm sorry, not number 1 and number 2, but both of them are top 10, I think, defensive rating post All-Star break. So I really like the spot for not a lot of points. Both of these teams also not giving up a lot of points. We know Charlotte's been struggling to score without LaMelo as well. So I played the under.
Got the under? Okay. And do you think it continues to go down?
I
What is
would
that?
think so, RC. Like, where is it at now?
218.5. Do you feel like
Damn, I didn't know it dropped that low.
like yesterday I took the Warriors and I said there was still room for the under there.
I was with you.
It ended up cashing by a single point.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, like I feel like it could have. I think that first quarter was sort of that driver of why that we got so close. But other than that, it should have been an under game all along. But this one, it seems like it's. I mean, if it was like if it opened at like 230 or 220, anything above 225, and then came down, it would still be in the 220s. But now it's under 220. Do you think there's still room here?
I don't know. I see. What I will say is this. Sometimes it can be scary to, take these unders with teams that don't have anything to play for. Like
Yeah,
I think about the Pistons. I think about Charlotte. But one thing I noticed last week at a home game in Charlotte is that Jordan was actually sitting on the sideline beside the team. He was really, really frustrated that they lost the game, RC. So I think the competitive nature won't let Jordan teams really tank.
yeah.
Like he was visibly, like you could see it, like he was really, really upset. So I think, we're just thinking about like the mindset. I think Charlotte still comes out here and competes. You know what I mean? I think they're still trying to play hard for their jobs. Everybody on this team might not make it back next year. Guys are still playing hard, and Charlotte is the second best defense post All-Star break. So, to me, without Donovan Mitchell, I've seen this Cavs team really struggle to score the ball. RC, and Cleveland has some. They still have some pretty good defenders, even though Mark Williams won't be in there today. So, it could be one of those rock fight type games. RC, first team to 105 wins the game, 105 to 97. 110 to 102, something like that. Could potentially still be some meat on the bone for the under there. Just really kind of hard to quantify. I see, like when you think about the Cavs without Garland. I mean, I'm sorry, the Cavs without Mitchell and without Jared Allen and LaMelo, not being in Charlotte. How much does all three of those guys impact not only the offensive side and the defensive side, but also the pace?
So, all right. So they do slow down the pace even just a little bit.
I was looking at that too. Yep. And I looked at it at home. It slows down a little bit more too. I think it was like 92.81 without them on the road this season. They only averaging 109 points on the road in 5 games without Donovan Mitchell.
Gotcha. I think so. I see that the offensive rating actually improves without Mitchell, but I think it balances out as far as like the pace of play because the pace of play is slower. What about defensive? But assume it goes. Oh, it goes up a little bit. Man, I think I think you got it at the open number.
I got it at 223.5. I was surprised they didn't drop because just with him not being there, he's such a vital part of their offense that they can't replace him. Yeah, they can't replace him.
218.5. I think I would have been obviously I probably would have taken it with you on that open number or the 223.5, but I think 218.5, a lot of it is gone. That's just too low for me to take now.
Yeah, in today's NBA, it might be a little bit too low.
Yeah,
even though it could potentially still hit. I just hate getting the worst of the number.
I think so. I mean, obviously, yeah, for sure, it could still hit for sure, but it just there's like no room for error in that one. Yeah. All right, let's go to the next game here. Do you have anything else on that one before we go?
Nah, but I see Markel just put in the chat. He said he wouldn't be surprised if Garland goes off or Hornets win, but I can't play the game. I think Garland usage RC without Donovan Mitchell. I don't know if that's something. I know I didn't look at it, but I know in games without Donovan Mitchell, he's the one that typically explodes. So that really wouldn't surprise me either. Charlotte has struggled all year to stop guards. So Darius Garland having a huge game here would not surprise me at all in this one.
Points wise, yeah. Assists too.
Yeah,
the possibility
of points and assists.
Look how close he is to that double every game.
Got it a couple times too. What was that? 3 out of the last 5? Yeah.
That's really tight. I think the issue is whether or not it's gonna be a blowout game. Like, don't they have a game tomorrow against the Sixers, don't they?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's the issue there. But I think the usage is gonna be there. Is Mitchell like injured, or is he just taking it off because of the first of back to back?
I think he's just taking off his first back to backs. I mean, I know he hurt his wrist like a couple games ago before they played against the Miami Heat, but he probably just taking this one off. I mean, I didn't see him re-aggravated, and he was in the game until the end of the game on Sunday when these two teams just played. Dapped everybody up afterwards. Wrist looked fine to me.
So without Mitchell, 7-4 to the under, so that's already good. Average wise, it's tight. Like I said, it's really tight to that 218.5. Right, we're seeing 217.5 basically.
What if you look at that in road spots as well? I see, because we know that their offense isn't as good on the road as it is at home.
That's true. That's better. This is a little bit better. 215.6. And
Look at those defense. Look at those defenses. I see Thunder defense isn't better than Charlotte. Rockets defense isn't better than Charlotte. The Pistons defense is pretty close to Charlotte, but the Nuggets, even back then, probably wasn't as good as Charlotte.
Yeah.
So when you think about form, but yeah, I'm not endorsing it at 218. Ain't too many numbers I'm giving out at 218 that don't involve the Miami Heat or the.
But yeah, exactly. The Heat's probably one of the few.
Yeah.
And this one too also is good for it. So next rest equals 0.
Got to save some for tomorrow.
Yeah, but you look at what Markel said. Charlotte can win 1 and 2 straight up. So I mean, it is a possibility.
Yeah, they're not trying to take games away. They're trying to win like they still got a chance to get to the play-in.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. You have anything on Nuggets Raptors?
I got a query I want to send you. I see that actually supports the Nuggets. I'm gonna put in the private chat, but I can't. I mean, it's difficult to play the Nuggets right now. This team is
their current form is kind of wild.
Current form is terrible, man. So Raptors, I don't like the spot for them either, though. First game back home after pretty bad road trip where they could have potentially turned it around. But I just sent you the query. I think Denver first quarter could be in play here, I see, but I didn't play that. They just burned me on the first quarter on Sunday. But what I just sent you was, what is that? Since 2009, 5 straight road games. Now you're a home favorite, coming off 3 straight losses. And the line is, saying that you have to win by 3 or less. That's a spot where you typically want to fade the home team coming back home. So. And you can open that up too, RC, and take out the season part. And I think it's pretty strong still, but not a spot where you typically want to back these teams coming home off a couple losses in a row.
Got you. All right, so if we go back to that, there's a home favorite. So Raptors are favored
by 1.
Are there any like injuries?
Nah.
No.
Well, Jamal Murray is listed as questionable with the knee injury. Other than that, they got pretty much a full squad. Which he's been I think he's been part of the reason I see why they've been struggling, because he's been shooting the ball pretty poorly over the last 4 games as well. So they do need him. Of course, you don't want to take Denver without him. You don't want to take Denver first quarter without him either. Even though Jokic is the guy that kind of drives it, they just don't have a lot on that bench right now. Bench is terrible. I got another angle I want you to look at too. I see when you get a chance.
So they were on a they weren't even on a road trip.
No. It was home. Then they went to San Antonio, got smacked up, came back home and lost again.
How the fuck you lose to Spurs?
By 8. It wasn't even a 1 possession game.
For real. It did get to 1 possession though. I like towards the end, like the middle or end of the 4th quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I remember watching it. I think Raptors. All right, so Okay. What was the other angle you were looking at?
So actually, let's look at we talk about fading these teams when they come back home off these road trips, and we talk about fading them on the end of their road trip as well. Can we look at Denver? I'm sorry. Can we look at the Raptors like maybe last 3 years, coming off a 5-game road trip or more, their first game back home? I hadn't looked at this yet.
5 or more road trip?
Yeah, let's do 5. So they typically lose in that first quarter by 3 points. We know Denver's one of the best first quarter teams as well. So that would be my angle, would be looking at Denver early when Jokic's gonna play the whole entire game.
The first
They just
half?
haven't been playing defense. Not first half, first quarter.
Oh, first quarter.
Because he plays he comes out with like 2 minutes left.
Did you take anything on this one?
Nah. Also, actually, one more thing. Look at the Nuggets as road dogs this season. For some reason, they play well in this spot. I know me and you talked about it before. I know they upset the Clippers they didn't have Jokic. But yeah, they play well in the first quarter of road games. I'm not sure if it's off a loss at home or if it's just in general, but yeah, you see right there is almost a 2-point gap in the first quarter.
Look at their defense. Their defense is bad.
Oh yeah, it's terrible. It's been bad everywhere. It was bad in San Antonio.
Damn.
The problem is, do you trust the Raptors offense, RC, which ranks like bottom 5 in every statistical category offensively post All-Star break? Like they've been really bad at scoring the ball. One of the reasons why they can't win.
Yeah. Man, this one's
offense
tough.
just goes through walls. Yeah, it's really tough. That's why I didn't play anything. Yeah.
Just going back to the chat real quick. Add AF. What was that for? What was that for? The Mitchell? 2-0 straight up. Oh, there you go. There you go. My bad. I didn't see that until now. I think that's what he's trying to show us. Okay, so Cavs still cover and full game under. That's a good look. Man, that's pretty good look. I like that.
Because those teams are comparable, like you always
look at the average total combined too. maybe the team total under for them, right?
For Charlotte.
Yeah, for Charlotte. I'm gonna write that down. Team total under Charlotte. I don't know if I'm gonna get there with anything on the Denver game though. That one seems kind of tough.
Yeah, I probably won't either. We just talking it out. I don't. Denver been losing people money left and right. No way I'm putting my money on them.
Current form, I can't back them. All right, Nets and the Thunder on this one. If I remember correctly, you didn't take anything on this one yet, right?
No, I didn't.
This one, so I like the under. I took the under in this one. I think just looking at where are they at post All-Star break. Dang it. Team equals. Nets after the All-Star break, they've been playing some really solid defense. They gave it up a little bit the last 2 games. The Timberwolves and the Nuggets went over their team total. This one went over because of OT, and this one the Nuggets barely went over. I think their defense is just in really good form right now. If we go on the Thunder side, they're the opposite, right? 7-4 to the over. But if you look at the last 2 games, look how good their defense has been the last 2 games. Obviously, they've been playing. They played against 2 teams that haven't been playing good offense, regardless. But it goes to show that they're putting some effort in that area. The other thing too is just I think, man, I wrote down the other line here. The Nets. I think the Nets will be the drivers for this one for their defense. And then I think they coming off of a win against the Nuggets. I think a letdown spot offensively for them there. I think there was something on the Thunder side as well that looked like a letdown spot. Thunder not beating the Spurs, but I guess, yeah. I think what we were talking about before the show, Chris, was just basically, it seems like they've been beating like scrubs, right? They haven't really been proving anything. And prior to this 5 out of 6 win streak, they did lose 5 in a row to some other folks here. So uh, I think to me, in general, I think just offensively, the Thunder and the Nets are going to probably take a dip in this game here. Anything to add on this one?
No, a really, really tough game. I see when you try to look at it from a side perspective. I know we were talking about in the chat earlier. I was trying to get there with the Nets. I just feel like they've been playing, the better competition. But this is a spot where they could potentially run out of gas. Last game of a pretty strong road trip, and it could be a bit of a letdown for them in this spot, just because they are coming off a really, really big win against the against the Denver Nuggets on Sunday. So it's really hard to fade OKC. They also get SGA back after, a fresh SGA as well, because he didn't play in that game on Sunday. So, he's rested, probably motivated. The Pelicans are still, the Oklahoma City Thunder are still trying to make a playoff push as well. So to me, it just kind of feels like a game. If Brooklyn relies on their defense, they put Mikal Bridges on SGA to slow him down just a tad bit, RC. I think, the Nets could potentially win this game, but it's nothing that I played.
Yeah, I think we were also looking at those tight lines as home favorites for the Thunder. We know the Thunder at home are pretty solid against the spread. When we look at them as home favorites, these smaller lines of three and under, it seems like it's a lot tighter. They're not winning and covering as much as they are these bigger lines for some reason. I think that's kind of what's got me, I guess, staying away from the Nets on this side, even though it seems like they should be the right side as far as like strength of schedule and current form and stuff like that. But and this actually points towards the over. I just, for me, it's under or nothing. Here's one query that I have here that points towards the under. Since 2018 on the road, on a at least 4 game road streak before that, and then their next game is at home. So what was that 5? The last of a 5 game road trip, I guess, is what you could say. Five or more road trip. They're less rest. They're more rested. What is it? 1-1. Rest. Oh, sorry. Rest is greater than 0, so they're not on the second leg of back-to-back games, and then it's a non-conference game. So a lot of things pointing towards the under for me from a league-wide perspective. I think it looks better too if they're coming off an over game. So like I mentioned, like a letdown spot, right? It comes down to 29, 8-1 to the under, and yeah, that for me, I just feel like it's a letdown on both sides here. Did you see anything from a prop perspective?
Nah, no. Last night, I don't know if it was Munaf or if it was Mitch. Somebody mentioned in the chat, looking at Nick Claxton rebounds. Or no, it's double. I see. Just because he is playing against OKC and they are, I think the worst rebounding team in the league. They also give up a lot of points in the paint. So I think that it's probably a solid look. Is looking at his threes. I'm sorry, not his threes. His double. Nicholas Claxton.
Claxton. Okay.
Yeah, Claxton double.
I wish this had double on it. Well, let's just look at his game log. So he got 3. No, he didn't even get the double there. He couldn't score against Charlotte or Boston. He's been putting up more points, I guess, in the last 3. Very close to the double there. Got it here versus Denver. It's always hard against teams that are efficient offensively, right? He didn't have a block against Denver, with OKC being like primarily a points in the paint type team. I feel like he should be able to get some blocks here.
When the last time he didn't have a block, RC? He might go for 6.
Shit, that's what I'm saying. All right, so he got 0 here, February 20, first game after the All-Star break. Did they play against the Thunder already?
Yeah, they lost at home.
Now he got 4 against the Thunder last time.
Mm-hmm.
The double-double's there too.
Mm-hmm.
That's a good call. Who was it, Mitch?
I don't know if it was Mitch or Munaf. Somebody mentioned in the chat though.
double or the blocks. It looks like if you target Claxton, that might be the way to go.
Mm-hmm.
One thing that I was looking at was the PRA against Thunder. I think they're one of the better teams as far as giving it up. So I think one way that I was looking at it. So here's Bridges and Johnson. I feel like I think there's more room here and more consistency on Cam Johnson's two over 220, 222.5, 22.5 there. So I actually went with that. I took the Cam Johnson over Michael Bridges. I think for Bridges, it's primarily his points. So I would probably take, if I want to take Bridges, I would take his points versus his PRA in this game here. I think it's like sort of, I think wasn't Bridges a 2018 class, because it's sort of a SGA versus Bridges type of matchup here tonight as far as scoring wise. But I
Bridges
think,
probably gonna end up getting Dort too, I see. So that makes sense to pivot off and go to Cam Johnson.
yeah, yeah, exactly. That's the thing. I just feel like there's more room here for Cam Johnson to go over than Bridges. If we look at Cam Johnson's game log, I think he bounces back because he didn't hit the number against Denver. It's always tough against Denver, but he hit 23 here. He hit 23 here. He hit 28 here, 30, 35 here. So he has a lot of opportunity. I just feel like I think for me, I would rather go on a bounce back spot than take Bridges, which is Cam Johnson to go over 22 and a half. Let's move on to the next game here. What is it? Lakers and Pelicans. Oh, this is the game that you like.
Yeah, I see. I played my Lakers, man. I played them at a pick, so it just took the money line minus 110. And to me, it's a do or die game for the Lakers. They're coming off the home loss against the Knicks on Sunday, and the Pelicans are coming off a win against the shorthanded Portland Trailblazers. So I think you see a little bit of regression from their offense in this spot. I think the Lakers are the better defensive team, currently, and I think the Lakers have more offense. I know Brandon Ingram is still, listed as questionable, but even if he plays, I don't feel like he'll be 100% with that ankle sprain. Mm-hmm. The Lakers already beat the Pelicans already post All-Star break as well. So yeah, and I like that, even though it's the first leg of a back-to-back, they got the Rockets tomorrow. So you gotta win both of these games if you're the Lakers. Also, both of these teams have the same record. RC, so major playoff implications with both of these teams trying to slide up in the playoffs standings. So yeah.
One way that I was looking at it, I think Lakers make sense here. If you just look at them offensively, the Pelicans side, we were just talking about this before the show. They've gone under their team total since, let's go back to January the 13th. All right, so just looking at the Pelicans here since January 13th, 8-18 straight up, 10-15-1 against the spread, 17-9 to the under. But the thing that I was focusing in on the most was the Pelicans team total. And you can see they've only gone over in 6 of the 26 games since then for the Pelicans team total. And they had 2 games that went over just by the hook. I think the Lakers make sense, right? Money line wise. Pelicans team total under makes sense. Also, the full game under makes sense as well. If you look at just post All-Star break in general for both of these teams here, they're both in the top 10. I think it's top 10, right? Well, the Lakers are here. There they are. So Pelicans is 15th in defensive rating. Lakers 3rd defensive rating. I think they're both in the bottom 10. Is that right? There you go. That's what it was. Bottom 10 in offensive rating. 109.1, 111.9. Pace-wise, the Pelicans aren't too quick, but the Lakers are. But just because of the defense from the Lakers side and also the inefficiency offensively from both teams here, I think that's what kind of drives the under in this game. Did you see anything from a prop perspective, or did you want to mention the look on D'Angelo, or like your thoughts on what D'Angelo brings to the table for this Lakers squad?
Yeah, he definitely pushes the pace, RC. We've seen that the Lakers' offensive rating has actually jumped up to ninth over the last 2 games with him in just in his brief stint. So them playing a little bit faster, we saw even with the Knicks game the other day, it still didn't generate an over. Like that game still went under for the most part. So the Lakers weren't playing too bad on defense. They just couldn't stop Julius Randle, who had a career night with 46 points. But if I'm playing this game, RC, we talked about this one early in the chat as well. I'm looking towards Anthony Davis. He's been the guy that's been under in both of his last 2 games since D'Lo came back. And I know D'Lo coming back is supposed to take, a load off him, but this is a revenge game for AD. He typically plays well against the Pelicans, and the Pelicans give it up. They're bottom 10 over the last 7 games in rebounds and points to centers. So we know that they only have Valanciunas pretty much. He's their only, big guy. And AD, statement type game like this against his old team, I think, they should dump it to him early and often, and he should probably have a really good game today. I think his points plus rebounds RC is like 41.5. And I think we expect at least, 30 and 15 from AD tonight, 30 and 14, something like that. He should go over the 41.5 points plus rebounds.
Points plus rebounds. Gotcha. Okay. If we look at game log wise, he's getting that double for sure, but it's probably juice, right?
It's right minus 300.
God damn. All right, so he hit 50. Yeah, Duke hit 35 on these guys.
So the way I see it too, RC, is that like the Pelicans have guards, right? Like they don't typically allow guards to go too crazy against them because they got other guards that can defend the ball well, right? Even without Alvarado, they still got Herb Jones, who plays pretty good defense. Got guys like Najee Marshall out there that play pretty good defense. Not Trey Jones. What's his name? That just had the really good game for them. Anyway, either way, like they just got really good. They don't have anybody that can slow AD down. So I expect a big dose of AD, which also lends towards the under as well as RC, because when you get a ball to AD, he typically runs the clock down, does a slow move and scores. Then you're able to get your defense set up. So I think AD points plus rebounds also correlates with the under in this game. So I like that. Haven't played it yet, but that would probably be one of my favorite player props of the day, just for AD to play well against his old team in a game where the Lakers need.
Yeah, for sure.
Especially coming off 2 bad games. Like you see that game right there. I wouldn't necessarily say bad either. He shot 4 for 7 because he didn't need to do as much against Toronto because D'Angelo had such a good game. And then against the Knicks, he just wasn't, extremely efficient in that game. But I think he gets back, like you always say, the bounce back spot. I like him in the bounce back spot, especially in a favorable matchup.
Like it. All right. And you said it was money line, right? Not because
I took him at a pick. It was money line minus 110.
I think it's still at pick. Yeah, it moved down. It moved down from 1.5 to pick. Shoot, it's coming in. I think I got the under on this one at 226.5, and it came down to 226. Well, there's still some 226.5, so I think it's still good to go. I feel like I don't think they're gonna go up. I don't think it's gonna go up anymore. I think this might be the peak of the total. So if you guys like the under, I would say take it now. If it does go up because of Ingram news, it might just be like a half point or something. I think there's still a lot of room for that. Let's go on to the next game. Bucks Suns. How many games we got left? 3. All right, Bucks Suns here. Man, I was kind of looking towards the Suns in this one. Chris, I don't know. Did you have anything on this game?
Not much. I see. This is I feel like the injury manipulation part of the game of the day, which is one of the reasons why I didn't really handicap it too much. Both of these teams on second leg of back-to-back, both of them playing against, championship level competition yesterday. Got the Bucks getting the win last night in Sacramento in a game that Giannis came back for and looked really, really fresh last night. And then on the opposite side, you got the Phoenix Suns who went to Golden State and lost that game last night by double digits. So it's not out of the realm of possibility for Mike Budenholzer to say, you know what, Giannis isn't going to play because it's the second leg of a back-to-back, and yesterday was his first game back. It's also not out of realm possibility for him to rest Chris Middleton, who typically doesn't play on second leg of back-to-backs, right? So, and Drew Holiday could also rest. Brooke Lopez might end up I feel like he could have, got a game of suspension yesterday for what he ended up doing last night with Trey Lyles at the end of the game.
Brooks.
Yeah, Brooke Lopez.
Yeah, my bad.
Yeah, Brooke Lopez. Yeah, and then on the opposite side, the Suns, same situation. I see Chris Paul is about 120 years old in basketball age, so he could potentially rest tonight. You know what I mean? So I just didn't really, put a lot of stock into this game because I feel like we could cap it as much as we want, but then one injury, to one of these key guys, changes everything. The other thing I also think, RC, I know we talked about this yesterday when Jay was on the show. I feel like we can't quantify this, of course, but I just feel like the Suns are not the team that they were, because like we can say, yeah, they have Chris Paul, they got some good defenders, they got Devin Booker, they got DeAndre Ayton, but when you're missing Mikal Bridges and Cam Johnson and you don't have Kevin Durant, that's not really a team I want to bet on against other elite competition in the West. When they have Kevin Durant, yes, but I don't necessarily want to bet on them. I don't care if they're at home, on the road, neutral site. I don't want to bet on them when they already traded those parts away and they don't have Kevin Durant against the other echelon teams in the East or the West. So that was one of the reasons why I didn't really want to play the game. But the Suns should be motivated off 2 straight losses. They also lost that game the other day against the Kings as well. So those are just like my general thoughts for the game. I didn't really want to play this one at all.
Like while you were breaking that down and talking about like the Bucks and who might be missing, I kind of went through all different scenarios in that second leg of back-to-back games with key players. Mm-hmm. So like first Chris Paul, right? 1-2 straight up, 0-3 ATS, 2-1 to the under. I looked at their average points, 107 for the Suns, right? 113, 111, 97. And then go back a little bit. We got Drew Holiday, 2-0 straight up, 2-0 against the spread, 2-0 to the under. All small sample sizes, but kind of just looking towards towards the under here. But more specific though, Chris, is possibly I would say the Suns team total under. I mean, this one went into OT and it went 104, 101. That's crazy. Giannis or Middleton, you mentioned he's out in all of those second games. Giannis out, only giving up 105 per game. The under seems like the play here, regardless of who's in and who's out. If we go to just the Bucks on second leg of back-to-back games, dude, they haven't failed to cover yet. They haven't lost the cover yet. They did push twice, and then they covered in 7 of them.
And look at those delta points allowed, RC.
The team total under.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. I think it might be. Let's look at Suns here. 7-2 to the under. It's just a lot of things are pointing towards the under, and more specifically, the Suns team total under.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many is that? 4, 5, 6.
Oh no, sorry, 6 of 9.
6 out of 9.
This one went to the hook, by the hook, and then I looked to see what the team total was. It was 115.5, and they've only gone over that in 2, right? And then if we go back to the Bucks side, what they give up, 2, 122, 117. So maybe the Suns team total under 115.5 in this game might be a way to look at it.
Damn, that's hella lot capping. I see.
Yeah.
Just let me talk about the game and you do the work, bro. I like this.
No, because when you say stuff, right, then I start to think about it and like, all right, well, why don't we look at in this area?
Yeah.
But I think that might be either the full game under or that Suns team total under. I think the Bucks offensively just really, I don't know. We like you said, right? We don't know who's going to play, who's not, but we know for a fact how they're going to play on that second leg of back-to-back games.
Yeah, RC, what if we look at the Suns post All-Star break? I'm just curious if they've gotten to their team total recently, and kind of exclude the games without KD, because we know he did play in 3. He played in the Chicago one, he played in the Mavs one, and he played in the Thunder. Well, he didn't play in the Thunder one. That was the one where he slipped and fell. I'm just curious if they've gotten to their team, like how well they've done without Kevin Durant post All-Star break, being that they lost so much offense.
Yeah, no, I got you. Well, they've been going over full game, 3-1 to the over. They played the Kings. That should have went over.
Well,
Thunder.
they got the Thunder on the second leg of back to back. I remember that game.
They played the Thunder twice. Went over twice. They already played the Bucks.
Yeah, I remember
101,
that.
104.
That was last Sunday.
What is their matchup wise?
I'm gonna say under. Oh, over.
Over. Well, over 4 straight here. Was that's part of the regular season and partially in the playoffs.
Yeah.
And then so that's tough because he had the playoffs in here, but
yeah.
I don't know,
That game in Milwaukee went under by how many points, I see? 26 and a half?
26 and a half, yeah. That was this season.
And the Bucks defense is better on the road than it is at home?
I believe so.
Yeah, I know they go under. They go under a lot more on the road than they do at home for sure. Damn. Yeah, that makes me look towards the under as well.
Oh yeah, 23 and 11 to the under.
Yeah, if you look at home, they go over home.
What if we do non-conference? Not too great. Starts to go to the over. What if we do we do road second leg of back to back?
I don't think so. Damn.
Oh, there you go. 5-0 to the under. What you think, Chris? Team total or we go full game?
I think it's got to be. I mean, they're not giving up points at all, and I just talked about the Suns missing a lot. I like that Suns team total under. I see. Maybe you split a little bit on both. Bucks exerted a lot of energy. I see. What about if we looked at that? Because the Bucks scored 140 points last night against Phoenix. It's like 130 something to 120 something or something like that. How many did they score?
133 versus Sacramento.
So after they score 133 on the road, how do they typically play again if they have another road game? Because I'm pretty sure they probably ain't scored 130 a lot of times this season. You don't typically need to unless you're playing against the Kings. Like 130 points is a lot.
One game. Damn, they got smacked.
That was the game without Giannis. Yeah,
that was a long ass time ago though.
Yeah.
November. Let's go 120.
I was about to say let's change to 120. It comes down a lot, I see.
It comes down a lot, but if you look, their opponents still go under 2. Well, I mean not under the game, but they haven't allowed more than 115.
Mm-hmm.
Man, I keep going back and forth between the full game and that Suns team total under. So
I mean the full game all stay under in all these too, though. I see because they don't score as much. The Bucks don't score as much, and they don't give up as much, which is why they were 23 and 10 to the under on the road.
Yeah.
So. See what was the minutes like last night for these teams? Chris Paul played 30 minutes. Devin Booker played 35 minutes. Torrey Craig 28. DeAndre Ayton 35. So they played heavy minutes last night too.
Look at the well, that's Suns Bucks. Never mind. Hold on. I was trying to figure out if there's a first half split on these.
Anything that correlates in all of them?
Mm-hmm. Might be. I mean, first half under, dude. Look, there's just the Bucks first half in these games.
You're killing.
No, I mean, sorry. So look at this one. Bucks on the road. Second leg of back-to-back games. Look at the first half split there.
Opponent team total under trifecta.
So this side would be Bucks on the road versus teams with a winning record, non-conference. So under the first should we go live on this one where we say or we take the first half under? Oh, that's Pelicans. Suns. No. Oh man. Okay. I think the ways that I would look would be Suns team total under, the full game under. I I think I'm gonna go just what about like half unit on each? And it's
That's what I
spread.
was thinking. Honestly, I was thinking the same thing. Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
It's hard to decide when to do that, but it seems like it's the right place.
Yeah, no, especially when it's so early in the day too, and we don't got any of the injury news at all.
Fuck. I feel like we need to wait. But if
Yeah,
we
I would
wait,
wait too. Yeah,
if we wait and then the news comes out, then it's gonna be a lot lower than what we want it to be. You know what I mean?
yeah, that's true.
Man, I'm deciding really hard right now, trying to figure this out. I think I'm gonna go Suns team total under.
I like it. I see.
I think that's the way that I'm gonna go with this one because I think they're less likely to have those injury or replacement theory type manipulation, right? Because on one side you got Drew and Giannis. On the other side, I don't see Booker sitting.
Me
But
either.
it might be Chris Paul. But if Chris Paul sits, it doesn't. I don't know how much it. I don't think it's gonna affect anything too much as far as from a number perspective.
I think it's gonna speed up the pace, but they're not gonna score as much either way. Like they'll be
Yeah,
like
maybe less
even less
efficient.
efficient.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right, I think we spent a lot of time on that one. All right, but Suns team total under on that one. I think is the way that I'm gonna go. All right, Magic Spurs. Did you have anything on this one? I was automatically just looking towards the Spurs just because I can't see Magic as road favorites.
Yeah,
Um,
Magic as road favorites is really, really weird. Not a spot I really want to back them at either. But for me, it just kind of depends. It depends on what Popovich does with the lineup. I think we've seen over and over again when they have a clean injury report, they can keep games close, and that's what they did against Denver the other day. I think it's a correlation, right? When you have Jeremy Sohan in there, you have Keldon Johnson, you have Trey Jones, you have those guys in, it gives them a shot to, at least cover spreads. But when you don't, their offense is really, really bad. And they typically stay under 110 points. So, yeah, I just think about this game, and it's a game the Magic should win. I mean, they're still kind of making a playoff push off the game the other day against the Miami Heat. They did get a win in that spot. So, but not a team you typically want to back as a favorite, like you already said. Just 1-4 in their last 5 in this spot against the spread. So,
yeah. So
yeah.
just looking at Magic as favorite, 4-8 straight up, 3-9 ATS. One and four straight up, 1-4 ATS versus non-conference. 5-0 to the over, so they're giving up points. Didn't people rest for the Spurs in the last game?
Yeah, against OKC, but they didn't against the Nuggets the other day. And if you San Antonio, I say don't you want to stop winning? Like eventually you got to stop winning, right? Especially with the Rockets winning last night. You don't want to win too many games in a row, right? I think that's why Popovich ruled 3 players out last game. You're like, hold on, y'all getting a little out of hand now. We done won 2 times in the last week.
Damn. Yeah, I fuck it. Let's not play this game. We don't want to play this game. Wendell Carter Jr. double. Fultz assist over whatever it is. Fultz assist has been, man, he's been playing really good ball. He always had the IQ. He just his body wasn't letting him when he first came back into the league. All right, let's go to this last game. Knicks and the Blazers. I didn't get. I don't have too much to support it, but for me, the Knicks is the only way to go. Did you have any queries or trends on this one?
Yeah, I see. I mean, like you said, it's Knicks tonight, man. The Portland Trailblazers, they got smashed 2 games ago against Philly, and they have not looked the same since. I know that last game against the Pelicans, they were extremely shorthanded, but I think the biggest thing I see is their defensive rating. over the last few games. They continue to struggle. And one thing I looked at, we talked about this last week on your show. You see them bottom 3 defensive rating, so teams are getting whatever they want. We know that the Knicks offense has been pretty good, and they don't have Brunson, but they still were able to beat the Lakers.
Wait, isn't Brunson questionable? He's not out yet, right?
He's listed as doubtful, but I don't think he's going to play in this spot.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to play because you don't really need him in this spot, in my estimation. So I think it's Knicks and nothing. One thing, RC, look at this real quick. I talked about this last week on your show. If you look at the Blazers post All-Star break, it doesn't look too bad, right? If you just look at them after All-Star break, they haven't been the worst team, 4-6. But add in that their opponent win percentage is greater than 50, because the only teams they beat was the Magic and the Pistons, I think. Then it starts to get a lot wonkier, right? So you see the cover against the Sixers, they almost won that game, but you look at that margin, they just been getting smashed.
Celtics and the Kings smashed them. Played tight against the Sixers. Why?
Because the Sixers were coming off first game back home after a 5-game road trip.
Oh, 5-game road trip. Gotcha. Damn, they had a full squad too. All right, so that was just a bad spot, and they caught them there. All right, so one thing that I saw just real quickly was the Knicks as home road favorites. They're 6-1 straight up, 6-1 ATS.
I saw that too, RC. One more thing, I see 7-1 against the spread in their last 8 games following an ATS win. So Knicks have been pretty consistent with backing up success with success.
After All-Star break, they've been doing pretty well. So these games here, Hornets, Kings, Clippers. We got so was that travel spots? Oh, they just have multiple road games in a row. This one,
Kings the hottest team in the Kings are the hottest team in the West. The Hornets caught them slipping because it was the last game before they went out on their road trip, and they were coming off the overtime game, the double overtime game against the Celtics. Yeah. And then the Clippers caught them in a matinee spot on the first leg of a back-to-back, and then they bounced back well against the Lakers. Let's see.
So we go Blazers side, Trailblazers.
So I got 2 more things for you, RC. Blazers should be 1-4 against the spread. Their last 5 home games following a road trip of 7 days or more. They're also 1-4 against the spread in their first game back home off a 3-game road trip this season, and 1-5-1 against the spread in their last 7 games versus a team with the winning straight up record.
I wonder if they had how many multiple long road trips they've had this season.
I think if you put in 3, RC, I think they've had maybe like 3 or 4 of 3 games. Or it may even be 4.
I had dog on there. So let's just take dog out.
There we go. That's what I was looking at.
Home after at least a 3-game road trip. 2-3 straight up, 1-4 ATS. If we say that they're a dog, they got smashed by the Bucks.
Here's a simple one too, I see. Road favorites after the All-Star break. Not this season. We can look at the whole database. Road favorites after the All-Star break on their last game of a 4-game road trip that won their previous game. And won their previous previous road game.
Oh man, come on. Well, it's slowing down. That means it's almost time for us to end this show.
All right, see, look, do this. Go to the top and hit
there you go.
hit it. Okay.
All right, 43, 24, and 2 ATS.
Mm-hmm. And look at this straight up, RZ.
Sure,
Like,
why
so
isn't
you
that
really
low?
just asking for you asking them to win by bucket. Look at the straight up record.
52-17. Well, why isn't that showing up? Are they?
Because I think in the database I see when I looked at earlier, they had the Knicks as 9-point dogs. I have no idea why.
Yeah, what the fuck? Hold on.
See if
PW.
the line's updated in the system, RZ.
Maybe it's 3. Is it 3? Can't be. 3. They're way. They have way more road games, right? Wasn't it like 5 in a row?
Yeah, the Knicks have. This is their. Who did they lose to first? They lost to the Kings. Then they lost to the Clippers. Then they beat the Lakers. So it's
So
the fourth.
Knicks.
It should be fourth, right?
Well, it says it looks like it's only active on -3. So this is the 4th game of a road trip, right?
This should be the 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, fourth game of road
Oh,
trip.
okay, 4. Yeah, that's right then.
Yeah, that's what I put. Yeah, last game of a 4-game road trip. Did you?
Yeah, last game of a 4-game road trip. So -3 is 3 road games in a row before.
Add the day a favor, I see.
7.9. So that's active on Knicks and Cavs today.
What I was thinking, I see, is like, do you see the straight up record 93 and 38? That's
Yeah.
71%. You're just asking them to win by a bucket.
Yep. Yeah. No,
The
for
average
sure.
line right there is 5. We're not looking for 5 today.
Here's the other one that backs the Knicks too. We were talking about this one before the show as well. Oops. So Portland's been on the road in 8 of the last 10 games. Now they're at home. Now they're at home, basically. So since 2019 in that situation, 47, 85, and 1 against the spread. And that says to fade the Blazers tonight and take the Knicks. As far as, oh man, did you take it yet? Did you take the Knicks?
I didn't, but I'm going to.
Yeah.
I'm just hoping that Dame gets ruled in, and then we get an even better line.
Gotcha.
And Jeremy Grant.
Home dog, huh? Home dog. Let's see if it makes it better. Makes it a little bit better. Look at the spread gets better for sure. So it's about an 8-point gap now instead of, I think it was like 3 earlier. So 13 and 37 straight up, 15, 34 and 1 against the spread. So this is where's the StreamYard at? There you go. All right. So just real quick. So this says since 2019, the number of road games in the last 10 games is 8 or greater. So at least 8 road games in the last 10 games. And now there's a home dog. That's what that query says there. I think, man, you think the line's gonna change?
It may not move too much, I see, but honestly, I don't think I care what it goes to, long as it's still a possession. You know, like like if it goes up to like 2.5, 3.5, I just feel like the Knicks are a much better team right now. If you just go look at post All-Star break or last 5 games,
yeah,
we just looked at the Portland defense. They struggle in this spot. With good offenses, and the Knicks have a good offense, whether Jalen Brunson is in or not right now, and Portland can't stop anybody. So if you gave up 126 points on the road to the Pelicans without Brandon Ingram last game, imagine what this Knicks team is going to do to you tonight.
Yeah,
it has a much better offense. So
it looks like it's going towards 2.5 already. So maybe grabbing the 2 now would be better. It seems like it's going in that direction. I don't know if it's going to continue going.
I think so.
Yeah, then I think if you believe that, then I think grabbing the 2 now would be best. Vaughn. Yeah. I mean, that's our goal, man. We just want to provide information. Really, it's you guys on how you guys take that information. So shout out to you for coming in here. I know you do a lot of your own work too, Vaughn. So I think it shows a lot of respect. Just going on other people's shows. Like I go on other people's shows too and watch what they say. I typically try to do I'm pretty sure Chris is the same way, but we both try to do our capping for the most part before we see other people's show. When I have Let's Cap though, I like to sometimes I like to do games like focus in on games, and there's these other games where I didn't look at them at all. Like which one did we just live cap? That Suns one we just live cap. Like I everything was off the cuff. So I mean, sometimes it works out well that way. Then sometimes I'm well prepared, but for the most part, man, it's just dope to have other cappers, support other cappers because it's rare to see nowadays.
Facts. Talk
Um,
about it. I see.
yeah. All right, so let's go. Fuck. I think Knicks taking Knicks -2 now would be better than waiting. The other thing too, I forgot who mentioned it. Someone said Knicks team total over. I think that's the way to go as well. Portland's
I
defense
see.
is trash.
I see. Real quick, can we go to
Yeah.
EB Analytics and
Yep.
look and see if we think the Knicks first quarter, first half have any value as well? I know that they've been the best road team as far as first half spreads. I want to say
Did I go first half? Oh, yeah, first half spread. So 47
by
21,
margin.
and then we go road 22 and 13. Dude,
Mm-hmm.
I thought we looked at it before. Okay, so if we look at last 10, I think it was split. Yeah, there you go. I remember because we were like, oh, they've been dominating all season, but it kind of come down a little bit
Mm-hmm.
last 10 games.
What about? I knew what the Knicks were. I see. What about Portland? How do they do at home? Like in the
Portland
first
at
half,
home. 4-5, 4-5-1 at
last
home
10.
last 10. If we go
What about
full
whole season?
season, Portland 16 and 15. So I mean,
Not the
not
worst.
not profitable. At least you could
Yeah.
say that, not profitable.
Yeah.
Are you thinking the halfway mark or the full first half only?
No, 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 definitely not. But I know that the Knicks are a lot more trustworthy early in the game than they are late.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, for sure.
but it just seems like a Knicks spot. I don't think that they lose the game. What about last three? I see. Just because of all the injuries that they've been kind of dealing with recently.
Talking about
For
Blazers?
for the Blazers,
2-1.
2-1. Okay,
Yeah, if we go to the Knicks side, 2-1.
2-1 as well. Okay. When you factor in it's the first game back, they probably deflated, man. Like I said, that losing that game against Philly when they were definitely in a winnable position, and then Dame sitting out. If Dame doesn't play in this game, they should lose this game by 10. Dame sitting out in that last game with the calf tightness, and it could tighten up on him in the middle of the game as well today, even if he does get ruled in.
All right, so when you mentioned that, the home game after a road game, we know that home road splits for Blazers, they typically do a lot better at home, averaging 119.6, allowing 117, right? So if we go and add that they're coming off of a road game, I think they take a dip in that initial
Offensively in
first
first
quarter.
quarter.
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. What if you add another road game? I see they coming off 2 road games.
multiple road games.
Yeah.
It was even lower, 113.8.
Mm-hmm. Like it.
We go home dog. And they getting smashed. So I think it's just that one game though. It's the Bucks every time it shows up.
Mm-hmm.
First quarter, jeez. First quarter,
Mm-hmm.
first half. All right, and then the Blazers come back in the
Mm-hmm.
second half. All right,
And
let's
that's
look
what
at this real quick. There's only
that's
four
the
games.
Knicks do the same thing. I see they score a lot in the first, and they let up in the second.
3, 6. So 3 in the first, plus 3 in the first quarter, plus 6 in the first half. Line was 5, so they covered that. We go Nuggets. They smashed first quarter, gave a little bit back in the second quarter, but first half they did cover, right? Because that's what 7. Sixers, they got smashed. Oops. And then Bucks, first quarter, first half. Damn, Chris. First quarter, first half.
It might be
Is
all
that what we're doing now?
It might be. Let's go opposite real quick. I see. What about Knicks away and previous away win?
Oh, all right. Knicks away and previous away win.
Yeah.
6-4 straight up, 6-4 ATS, 17 under.
They getting smashed in the first quarter though.
First quarter, first half. So let's do this though real quick because we were looking at a road favorite, right? 6-1. First quarter plus 0.6. First half plus about one point something.
What about if we do this calendar year? I see, just because we know the Knicks didn't get hot until like February, but what if we add like January 1st or something like that?
Can I do a year? I already forgot if I could do this. I just seen.
I was about to add that to my database.
All right, 3-0. Up and then down in the second quarter. Damn. Ja Morant released. No, fuck that. For real?
Hell no.
Nah. Chris?
Nah, that ain't happening.
Man, this guy.
My phone would have been going crazy.
Nah, there's no way. Ja Morant release. Can't. We'll see what happens though. It seems like he's struggling.
Yeah.
I don't know. Even with this, Chris, I still feel like first quarter, first half is still the play. I'm not gonna lie, dude. I like them pretty much trifecta.
Me too. I ride with you, I see. I ride with you.
Fuck it, let's do it then, dude. I think that's the way to go here.
Yeah. Sometimes we can't always look at the queries. Sometimes we just gotta look at what's in front of us. Yeah, the eye test. Yeah, it's gotta be the balance.
All right, well, man, we've been going on for a while. Let's get to the recap here. All right, Chris, let's drop some stuff here. Go ahead and go first.
Yeah, so I talked about that under. Don't endorse it as much now, but I talked about the under in the Cavs game that I jumped on as soon as Donovan Mitchell got rolled out. And then I'm playing the Lakers, man, the better offensive team, the better defensive team post All-Star break. Like the AD's back in a very, very meaningful game. The Lakers probably need to get this one out the way so they can, focus on making sure that they don't overlook the Houston Rockets last night, who coming off a win against a 13-point win as a dog last night as a home dog against the Boston Celtics. So top play of the day is the Lakers on the money line. You can get it at -110. Still, that line hasn't moved a lot at all. But I'm probably going to get there. I love what you ran as far as the Suns team total to go under or that full game to go under as well. Really, really like that spot. So those would be the top 3 looks for me on the card for today.
All right, so for everything that we talked about today, there was a lot. We did talk about a lot of plays here. Knicks, obviously the last one we just talked about, Knicks first quarter, first half full game. Man, as much as I want to play all 3, Chris, I'm trying to not play that many games, but that would be the only way that I could look. Maybe this is something that we go. Maybe the first half. Fuck.
Yeah, I'm playing that too. I forgot to mention that, and the Wizards. I forgot about the Wizards too. I did play first quarter, first half too.
All right, so Knicks on the trifecta is one way that we're looking. Suns team total under 115.5. I think I'm gonna get there. Wizards first quarter, first half already took it. Thunder Nets under their 226.5? Forgot which one was that.
That was the Lakers and Thunder, I think. Lakers and OKC was 226.5.
233.5. Under 233.5 Thunder Nets. Lakers Pelicans under 226.5. Is that everything? Thunder Nets under, Lakers Pelicans under, Suns team total under, Wizards first quarter, first half, Knicks first quarter, first half, full game. Am I missing anything? I feel like I'm missing something.
No, I think that's it. I see, because we have nothing in the Denver game, right? We stayed off the Denver and Raptors game.
Yeah, we stayed off of that. I think I stayed off of Charlotte because I got the bad number.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Nothing on Orlando Spurs. Yeah, you're right. All right, so I mean, those are all the looks that we've had for today, as far as what we broke down, with a lot of support as well. First half up to -8. I mean, first half up to -8. You guys still like that? I wouldn't go past -8. I wouldn't go past -8. I think that would probably be the highest I go, because we get at 7.5.
I was gonna say, I took a 7.5. So I gotta like the 8.
Before the news, before the injury news or whatever, it was at -7. We were gonna take that -7.5. I think we obviously took that, but -8 probably the highest. It's already way too high, but it's just a lot of things supporting it. So, yeah. Well, with that said, guys, that is the end of the show. Uh, before you guys go, make sure you guys hit the like and subscribe button. I mean, it just helps my show, the channel grow and continue to grow the way that it has. Obviously, I like the chat room has always been fire. You guys bring up a lot of great stuff, a lot of great questions and the queries and things like that. So shout out to you guys. Other than that, that is the end of the show. Always got to end like this, guys. Whether you fade us or follow us, it is on you guys to make that call. Good luck with our reaction. Till next time, peace.